Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about suffixes. What I need you to do at this time is please pause if you have not already gotten note cards and a pencil or a piece of paper and a pencil so you can create a chart just like this. You are going to use your note card or your paper to write down the suffix, the meaning, and the example of each suffix on either a note card or the chart that you create. So pause now if you need to go get the supplies you need, then we will get started. The first suffix we are going to talk about today is age. Age means the result of an action. One example is marriage. Marriage is the result of being married. Pilgrimage is another example. Pilgrimage is the result of a journey. The second suffix we'll talk about is al, al, meaning of the kind. One example is the word natural. Natural means of nature. Unusual is another example. We have the prefix un, which if you remember means not, and then usual means common. So not common. So not of the common kind. The third suffix is dom. Dom means place or state of being. One example is freedom. Freedom is a state of being free. Another example is wisdom. That is a state of being wise. The next suffix is en, en, meaning become or to make. One example of the suffix en is enlighten. That means to make light of. Loosen is another example. Loosen means to become less tight. The next suffix is es, meaning more than one. Three examples of the s suffix are horses, boxes, and dishes. Horses is more than one horse, boxes is more than one box, dishes is more than one dish. The next suffix is full, meaning notable for or full of. One example of the suffix full is used in beautiful. Beautiful is being full of beauty. Another example is colorful, being full of color. The next suffix is hood. Hood means the condition of being. One example is neighborhood. So the condition of being a neighbor is living in a neighborhood. Another example is childhood. The condition of being a child is childhood. Our next suffix is -fi. It means to make or become. Classify is one example of the suffix -fi. Classify means to make or become in class. Another example is terrify. So terrify is to make or become scared. Ing, ing, is the next suffix, which means in the present. One example of the ing suffix is in jumping. Jumping is the present form of jump. Another example is running. Running is the present form of run. The suffix ion, un, is or means the state of being, quality, act. One example is transition. So transition is the state of being, which is, or the act of, so changing from one state to another is transition. Another example is envision. Envision is the act of imagining possibility. The next suffix is ish, ish, meaning having the quality of. Example, childish. Childish is the quality of being like a child, so childish. The next example is selfish, the quality of being oneself, so being selfish. Next is ist, ist, which means one who. One example of the suffix ist is used in biologist. Biologist is someone who studies biology. Another example is artist. So an artist is one who creates art. Our next suffix is eyes. To make, to become. One example of the eyes suffix is civilize. Civilize means to become more advanced. Realize is another example, which means to become fully aware of. Our next suffix is less, which means without. One example is endless. Endless means without end. Another example of the less suffix is used in powerless. So it means without power. The next suffix we're going to talk about is the ending ly. It means how something is. One example is the suffix ly is in the word quickly. So how something is quickly. Carefully has two suffixes. Carefully has the suffix full, which means full of care, and ly at the very end is how something is, so carefully. So how something is caring, carefully, how something is quick, quickly. The next suffix is meant. Meant means the condition of. One example is the word basement. So basement is the condition of where it is below ground. Argument is the condition of views, or the opposition of views. Ness is the next suffix. It means state of being. One example is happiness. Happiness is the state of being happy. Another example is brightness, which means a state of being bright. Our next suffix is ology, which means the study of. One example is biology. Biology is a study of people and the plants and things of that nature. Geology is another example, which is a study of the earth and earth formations. Our next suffix is ship, the art or skill of, condition, or group of. Leadership is one example of the ending suffix ship, so it is a group of leaders. Friendship is another example where ship is used as a group of friends in friendship. Last but not least, the final suffix is ty, ty, which means the quality of. One example is in honesty. Honesty is the quality of being honest. Certainty is another example, which is the quality of being certain. Okay, if you did not get all these copied down, you may pause and rewind and push play at whatever rate you need to in order to get this completed.